What is up, guys? Welcome back. It's the final day of the NASL Season 4 Grand Finals. We're starting off with some Heart of the Swarm action. I'm Day9, joined by Rotterdam. The crowd is happy.
Of course they're happy, Sean. You're here, and we're about to broadcast some excellent Heart of the Swarm show matches. I'm really excited because ever since the big patch, you guys were already talking about it, I haven't really seen a lot of it. I've been busy, of course, with our event and still focusing on Wings of Liberty. So I am very curious, as Frodan mentioned, pretty much in every single game I played, or at least against Zerg, I was making Oracle. So I'm curious to see how that's going to turn out right now.
The Oracle started off as a unit that was amazing at killing buildings ultra fast, and now is amazing at killing workers even faster. So no matter what, Protosses will be thrilled at the opportunity to build only Oracles at the start and to make Zergs go crazy.
Sounds good.
But speaking of Zergs who can be made crazy by Protosses, let's talk a little bit about Liquid Rhett.
Yes, let's do that. We had the pleasure of sitting down, actually. It was Frodan, but of course all of us were watching yesterday, just to talk with him a little bit about this show match, because we invited him a few days ago. When I contacted him first about it, he's like, I'm not sure, I haven't really played a lot of Heart of the Swarm. I was like, come on, Rhett. He's like, no, I got some Wings of Liberty tournaments. I was like, Rhett, come on. He's like, okay, actually I would really like to play. He's like, maybe I have some few days. He's like, okay, I'll hammer out a lot of games. So we had the pleasure of sitting down with him, and Frodan, it's going to show to you guys.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the pre-Heart of Swarm show match series with me, Frodan. We're going to do some interviews with the players before we start. Joining me right now is Liquid Rhett, also known as Yost the Crew. And Yost, how you doing, man?
Hey man, I'm doing pretty good. It's kind of late here in Europe though, so a little sleepy, but happy to be playing here at the NASL Finals in Heart of the Swarm, of course.
No, we're happy to have you. Who is your favorite player to hang out in an event, and why?
I think I'll go for Stefano and Blink combination here, because you know, no matter what happens or where they are, if you were them, you're probably having a good time. So
Stefano and Blink always fun to hang out with. I want to ask also, what do you think was the best event of 2012?
Well, this is gonna seem like I'm trying to like kiss ass here or something, but I'll go for NASL Season 3 actually in Toronto. I had 3 top 4 placings this year, and that's one of them. But I feel like the whole setup with the intro and everything and the production, it was really nice. Also really nice to play in Toronto, you know, Canada for the first time. I thought the crowd was really, really cool. So I'll pick that one.
Who is your celebrity crush?
Well, it's very easy for me. I'm gonna go with Kate Beckinsale, just because of when I was like a teenager, I watched Underworld and just fell in love with her. And then I watched Click and I thought she was really hot still. So I don't care how old she is now. She's definitely my crush.
That's a great pick. In real life, would you rather fight 1,000 Zergling-sized Ultra or an Ultra-sized Zergling?
I think I would go for the Zergling-sized Ultras, and hopefully it'll be off creep and they won't be all that fast and I can just run the hell away, because I don't think I would win either of that fight.
I agree. If you're on creep, you wouldn't win at all. I want to also ask, if you were a hero unit in StarCraft 2, which unit would you be and what abilities would you have?
Well, I'll go for the drones, and it's like I'm kind of known to be like a player who likes to make drones, and I'm gonna pick the ability to mine out an entire mineral patch in just one run. That would make me very happy. I could do that for days.
It sounds like very similar to the drone already. The last question I want to ask you is, how badly are you going to destroy WhiteRa?
Well, it's going to be really easy. I actually watched Idris stream today against WhiteRa, and he beat him like 9-1, so I don't think it's going to be a challenge, but, you know, we'll see what he can come up with.
All right, in closing, do you have any last words, shout-outs to any of your fans and friendly?
Well, of course, all my fans, thank you so much for supporting me still, and I hope you keep watching out for me. I'm trying to improve a lot. And of course, my sponsors, Team Razor, Twitch, and a little app factory. And I'd also like to welcome the entire Liquid Dota team that just joined recently. I hope we get to have a lot of fun together.
That's right, guys. Thank you, Rhett, so much for your time. And don't forget to follow Liquid Rhett on Twitter @LiquidRhett. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Frodan, and thank you, Liquid Rhett. A nice interview bit. I love how much Rhett embraces his love of drones. He just wants to collect minerals. He would love the start of EVE Online.
Yeah,
There's like 10 people out there. It's like, oh, because all you do is mine asteroids at the start. And they loved that joke. They really did. Let's talk about our second player, WhiteRa.
Okay, well, WhiteRa is of course awesome. Everybody loves WhiteRa. I don't think there's anyone in the world who does not love WhiteRa. And he's been very vocal about his love for Heart of the Swarm last few days. Of course, in a way that only WhiteRa could do it. I could say that he said he was very excited, but WhiteRa is probably like, oh, Heart of the Swarm, yeah, like very much. So something along those lines.
No problem.
No problem. Much better. Turk, not Imba. Yeah, and he's been talking about a lot about it. He's been streaming a lot, and yeah, when we asked him, he said, "Oh yes, absolutely, very interested." So yeah, he was down, Sean.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at what WhiteRa has to say about this upcoming show match with another interview with Frodan.
All right, hi guys, welcome back everyone to the pre-Heart of the Swarm show match with me, Frodan. When we're here with WhiteRa, one of the best Protosses in European scene. WhiteRa, how are you doing today?
Hello. All very good, and soon coming Christmas and New Year, so I'm very good feeling myself and very exciting.
I'm very excited for you to play too. Who is your favorite player to hang out with at an event and why?
You know, my favorite players, it's Boxer. Slayer Boxer.
Of course, WhiteRa, you've been around the scene a long time, so is Boxer. Lots of history there. Let's talk about recent history as well. What was the best event, in your opinion, of 2012?
I think it's maybe second place in VCS Europe, VCS Ukraine, yeah, qualification. Because in Ukraine we have so many good players like Strilog, Bly, Dimaga, Fryer, and rest, and it's always very hard to play with strong players.
I want to also ask you, what is the craziest thing a fan has ever asked you to do?
One time in the VCS Europe, one fan coming to me and say, jumping, I must jump on his back, and he want to make some pictures on running with me. So we make more pictures, and you can find these pictures maybe in Facebook, and it's be. Yeah, he have a really strong back, so it's be.
In real life, would you rather fight 1,000 Zergling-sized Ultralists or an Ultralist-sized Zergling?
It's sometimes different. Sometimes Zerglings attack you on street. Sometimes Ultralists can come to you and say, show me UID, or I will not let you come inside nightclub. So it's all times different.
The last question I want to ask before I let you go is, how badly are you going to destroy Rhett in the Heart of the Swarm show match?
I'm pretty sure I kill every Zerglings on Rhett base, not let any live Zerglings. So I'm strong, so fighting stronger. My skill is kill every Zerglings, yeah.
Sounds great, WhiteRa. Do you have any last words, shout-outs you want to give to your fans and sponsors?
Yeah, of course, I want to say very thanks NASL for invite on this amazing show match series. I want to say very big thanks for huge supporting. 32 years, it's very old person, but still get so big support, and that's why I continue play. And of course, my partners, TT Sport and Playham for good support. I feel what I still can play and show good score in future.
All right, that's all the questions I have for you today. Thank you, Lexi, for your time, and good luck in your upcoming show match against Rhett.
Yeah, thank you. See you very soon.
Welcome back. It is time to begin the very first game of this show match, and I gotta ask you, Rotterdam. I mean, I know Rhett is known for being able to just pull miracles with a few days of practice. He's an extremely fast learner, but WhiteRa has a huge amount of experience. Do you think that the patch is significant enough that it's all been negated?
I'm really not sure. I definitely think that the games that WhiteRa played before that are going to help out a little bit, because you were already playing around with the new units, but everything changed. Like, for instance, like the Tempest has changed like 4 or 5 times right now. The Oracle has changed 5 times as well.
Mothership Core as well.
Yeah, I don't even know how it started out anymore, man. It's like everything changed. So I do think that if Rhett just played 30, 40 games in the last 2 days, then he has a very realistic shot at taking it.
Well, the first map is going to be on Howling Peak. It's my favorite beta map.
I like it as well.
I mean, it's really, really odd formations. There's a lot of nice choke points to be able to defend, but still gives you a lot of headaches to even figure out how to deal with a Zerg player who likes to counterattack as much as Rhett.
Did you have it as well whenever you started playing Heart of the Swarm and after that you went back to Wings of Liberty and like, oh my god, I can't split anymore. It's like, this is so hard right now. Like my drones or like my probes start mining at like the 12-second mark. It's like, I think my builds are a little bit off right now.
Guys, it's time to introduce our players in the Heart of the Swarm show match. In the bottom left, he was a top 4 player in NASL Season 3 and one of the most famous SC2 players, period. It is Liquid Rhett. And up in the top right, he's just awesome in every single way. There's no way else to put it. He has been a competitive gamer for over a decade. From Ukraine, it is WhiteRa.
In the left bottom side of the map, we can see Rhett just opening up with the 15 spawning pools. So far, everything is standard. WhiteRa is going to try to block this hatchery a little bit. So far, of course, everything looks quite familiar to what we're used to. He's actually going Nexus first, so even Nexus before the forts, despite scouting that spawning pool. And this is also a map where it's a little bit annoying. You're most likely going to be forced to get 2 cannons, one over here to cover your ramp, and probably one somewhere over here as well. Because otherwise, if you just get 1 cannon over here, the Zerglings can run behind your mineral lines all the time and harass your probes, and it's extremely annoying. So I'm a little bit surprised by WhiteRa that he went for Nexus first in this situation.
Yeah,
I'm curious to see how many links Rhett is going to make, if Rhett is actually going to try to make something happen or not.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the power on this map really comes from the fact that mothership core is so versatile. It seems a little bit awkward to defend this Expo, but we're seeing WhiteRa already set himself up a nice little defense. And honestly, given what we've been seeing out of WhiteRa on his stream, I would not be surprised to see him just go straight for the Oracle and try to do huge damage right off the bat. Look at WhiteRa even having some nice pimped out decals at his main Nexus. Yeah, decorating himself.
WhiteRa has some style, man. He's chrono boosting out as many pros as possible. So far, it's just going to be a single cannon. So WhiteRa is definitely not afraid. Rhett going up to 3 hatcheries already. Didn't really bother to make more than 2 links, so WhiteRa made the right call. 2 cannons would have been a slight overreaction.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, you can't blame Rhett for doing this kind of opening. The biggest thing to consider as a Zerg player is that almost all the changes for Zerg are layer tech or later. So everything leading up to basically the 8.5, 9 minute mark is identical. You still have to worry about early warp gate pressure. You still have to worry about very fast Immortal Sentry all-ins. You still have to worry about fast Stargate play, but now you have a few extra obstacles thrown in there, and you don't really have new ways to solve them. It's pretty much still Queen's defensive structures and them drones.
So true. No mothership core yet on the way for WhiteRa, so he's going to wait a little bit. We're going to get this Stalker, so he prefers to use that first 50 gas on the Stalker and his warp gate technology before getting out that mothership core. Of course, back in the days you had Energize and you were able to chrono boost out a lot, perhaps a little bit more, like Energize your Nexus, just chrono boost out as many probes as possible. That's not really possible anymore as they removed Energize, so perhaps it makes sense to delay that mothership core a little bit by now.
Yeah, I mean, the mothership core is an excellent defensive unit, but you don't exactly need to get it up super fast. We've started to see a lot of players in the HOTS beta just sort of delay that a little bit. It's particularly good for tactical engagements. Getting the mothership core a little bit delayed right around now is an excellent time. And look at this Twilight Council from WhiteRa. I like this play. Keep in mind the Dark Shrine is only 100/100, which means that it's basically free. You can get Dark Templar really whenever you want. WhiteRa still just continuing this standard pressure.
Nice little poke over here in the right bottom side of the map with this one Stalker. It's going to find one of Rhett's Overlords, and we can already see that Rhett is actually supply blocked, so it's going to supply block him even longer. Well done here by WhiteRa. And this one Zealot and that Stalker are actually going to be quite annoying. Rhett is making 16 links though, and with those 16 links, he should be able to micro his way out of this.
Yeah, and they're down at the bottom side. We see the Zealot sweeping in, immediately trying to attack that Queen layer, just now starting for Liquid Rhett, starting it right on time at the 7-minute mark. Going to be able to deflect this, but we see that the Warp Gate research is done again. I really expect that we will see a fast Dark Shrine out of WhiteRa. This is actually a style that he used a lot on Tall Dream Altar in the old days.
Rhett is so close to scouting it. He saw the pylon though, so perhaps he knows that there is something behind the mineral line, because often whenever there is a pylon there, you're like, I wonder what's sitting over there. But of course, could still be his target as well. I'm not sure if that fits actually. In any case, Rhett should be aware of it, as he played quite some Harder in the last few days. He is aware of these cheap Dark Templars. And Dark Templars is definitely something that we're going to see so much more often in, I think, pretty much every matchup. But certainly in PvZ.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point, really, if you had to describe a theme for Protoss, it would be interesting mobility with warp-ins and blinks and Colossus moving up and down, and just the Warp Prism itself. Like, all of that means that Protoss is excellent with counterattacks, hitting the opponent with a lot of surprises. And, I mean, the Dark Shrine being so cheap means that we're going to be seeing a lot of moves like this. See at this bottom of the base, WhiteRa building this pylon to be able to do some warp-in harassment with those DTs. And look at that. He's going to get DTs at 9 minutes. Wow. And he's even going to have the luxury of being able to go for that fast +2. Rhett is still in Wings of Liberty mode. His layer is only just now completed.
But Rhett should know what's going on, though. He already picked off that one probe in the right bottom side of the map, and that is so crucial, because that pretty much tells him what's going on. Now he's going to pick off another probe, so he should figure out that WhiteRa really wants to get an offensive pylon. Here we do so these first two Dark Templars, and also this third Nexus by WhiteRa at the 9-minute mark.
Oh, it's
he
really
barely has
bold.
any units.
But I mean, this is the strength of going not just for DTs, but also the Mothership Core. And there's the Dark Templar warping in. Oh, that is going to make Rhett instantly want to get a whole bunch of those Overseers up. We're starting to see pylons get planted, but
I'm still a little bit surprised. There's only a single Overseer on the map right now for Rhett, and there's still no Spore Crawlers. Well, he knows right now for sure there are Dark Templars. We see one more Overseer morphing, but these Dark Templars will be able to pick off at least a couple of drones.
that photon overcharge on that Mothership Core is going to be essential for the defense. Rhett having to pull back. Again, this isn't a tremendous investment for WhiteRa. He's still able to get sentries plus upgrades. He's going to be able to get +2 in a moment. At his natural expansion, Rhett is also on the lookout for those DTs. But we see WhiteRa has pulled back and made an Archon, which is awesome because there is no better unit in StarCraft 2 than the Archon. That I love Zealot Archon,
I know,
Rotterdam.
I've seen your stream, Sean. What is that? What is that obsession with Zealot Archon? Can you please tell me?
Well, it's awesome. Watch this one Archon, Rotterdam. He's going to hold down like a boss. All the sentries will fall. The Archon is already up to 10 kills. And we see, it looks like the Mothership Core has just gotten enough for Photon Overcharge, and there the Nexus. Look at this excellent timing by WhiteRa, throwing down those force fields. I mean, this is a difficult engagement for Liquid Rhett with that gigantic 60-shot blast cannon.
That's actually an amazing damage output right there. Cannon goes up as well, and WhiteRa will hold for now. Excellent hold. Got the Mothership Core out just in time. And yes, Sean, the Archon is still alive.
The Archon actually has 13 kills. He's an instructor.
He's amazing. We see actually the Locust being reset, or...
A little bit of an interesting change. I mean, the Locust, it's a nice transition from a Roach-focused mid-game because you have all the upgrades like the +1 ranged attack. The Locust boosts that quite a bit. We're seeing Zergling counterattacks from Rhett. And one thing I want to note that is so strong about the Swarm Host is that you can burrow, the Locust pop out and make an attack, and you just instantly unburrow the Swarm Host and move somewhere else. It becomes very difficult to track them down because those Locusts have such long range.
Good Zealot over here for WhiteRa, who is the gatekeeper, and he's going to warp in one additional Dark Templar as well, and a cannon behind it, so he's not that susceptible to any run-bys anymore. Very well done. Of course, Rhett's economy has been pretty good throughout the entire game, but WhiteRa did not slack either on building probes. One of the things I would really like to point out, guys, perhaps you guys know if you play a lot of Swarm, if you watch a lot of Swarm, are the worker count right now on top of the main building. Some people might think it's not that of a big deal. I think it's actually a really big deal. If you go up to 3, 4, 5 bases, and in that phase of the game, the action is like, it can be quite packed and can be very intense. It is so awesome to see that you just always can put 16 workers immediately on a base, and it's really going to help you a little bit saturate your bases so much more effectively.
And look at this, we're seeing WhiteRa. Ordinarily, this attack is a tremendous risk. You'd never want to do this, but because that Mothership Core has almost enough energy for a recall, WhiteRa always has the luxury of being able to pull on out of there, but we're seeing, a Ling Roach counterattack, and the Swarm Host already throwing down those really, really potent Locusts doing 13 damage a shot.
Oh, that's a lot. +1, of course, being reset. Oh, the Archon is taking quite some damage. Mothership Core has to be careful. Okay, they don't attack air. Never mind, guys. I was confused.
Mothership Core has really weak basic attack. We're seeing those Roaches trying to regroup. A couple of Stalkers picking things off, and while there's this brief little retreat period, wow, WhiteRa actually not going to be pulling back at all. He is going straight in for the attack, and again, the Swarm Host can constantly reburrow.
Oh, he's not burrowed yet, though.
He needs to get those out, and now it's time for WhiteRa to run those Locusts to so much damage, Roddy.
WhiteRa does not have a single bit of detection with his army right now.
This
Only
is going to be
yeah, the Mothership Core has energy, but of course he wants to save the energy for a recall.
The Envision does essentially turn the Mothership Core into a detector, so this is allowing WhiteRa to have skipped over.
Same time, WhiteRa is warping in quite a few Zealots on his right bottom side of the map. Does not have charge yet, but this is still going to deal a lot of damage.
+2 attack done, and he waltzes right into the mineral field. And look at this, it looks like WhiteRa's trying to engage these Locusts. I don't know how much I like this. He's trying to keep Rhett drawn away, because look at this, Rhett notices at the last second down in this bottom right corner.
That's a lot of Zealots. If all these Zealots just start working on the hatchery right now, this hatchery will most likely fall, and that means that Rhett is all the way down to 2 bases.
Oh, but the Mothership Core falls. Suddenly that means that there is absolutely no detection. It's a very easy pick off. And what do we see WhiteRa doing? He is going for Oracles. A very weird late game transition.
I think he's doing it for detection because he doesn't have a robotics facility on the map. Does that make sense?
Well, it looks like he's rushing up to pick off the Overseer, and then he's going to have to pull right on back out again. Now, the Oracle does have an excellent anti-light unit attack. Locusts are light, so they do help in cleaning that up quite a bit. The Oracle has 3 really interesting mixes. There's the Revelation, which is essentially blast an area and reveal everything that's in that area. It's kind of like a Protoss version of Scan. There's that Pulsar Beam, and of course the Time Warp.
That's of course what WhiteRa is going to need as well, because WhiteRa has no detection. He doesn't have a robotics facility, and these cannons, they die so quick. So despite, oh, no cancel over here by Rhett, this little counter squad is going to deal a lot of damage. Rhett has a lot of drones though, so losing a few isn't really the end of the world.
Oh, wow. What a sweet move by WhiteRa, moving right up into the natural expansion, starting to pick it off. And as you see back in the main base, we're seeing WhiteRa desperately try to warp in as many Void Rays as he can. If he can get enough of those, then it's essentially a few Corruptors away from him securing a nice win. But we're seeing Rhett pull some of the Locusts back, continuing to engage at that south side. I mean, WhiteRa either just has to take that damage, or he has to pull back.
He's microing pretty well though with these Blink Stalkers. Locust dealing so much damage, but there should perhaps barely be enough Roaches. WhiteRa actually losing a lot of Stalkers right now, a little bit sloppy.
But Rhett takes out the Cybernetics Core. This means absolutely no Stalkers. It's going to all come down to these Void Rays for WhiteRa. He must continue to chrono boost as best he can.
We only have 3 Void Rays right now. There's still quite a few Corruptors in the mix. This is something that Rhett was talking about before the game as well. Corruptors swarm most. I guess he didn't really think about Void Rays though for the Corruptors, more like taking care of the Colossus. This Mothership Core, Corruption was used.
It's getting gooped up a bit in the main base. We see that, in the natural expansion, we see that the Spire is there. So
oh,
we'll be able to
smart move
more.
over here by WhiteRa as the Locusts are out of position. He's just going to work on the Corruptors. And of course hoping that the Void Rays can clean up the rest then.
Oh, what a sweet move by WhiteRa, catching those Swarm Hosts off guard. They're like extremely slow-firing lurkers. WhiteRa needs to blink up to the high ground. He uses the smart blink. A couple of his units get caught, and poor Zealots don't have blink at this point in time.
Blink. Here come the Void Rays though. There are still a few Corruptors. Corruption is not used yet.
Uh-oh, it looks like he instantly turned on the full warp-in mode. And now it's going to be all up to the Void Rays to start picking these off. There's the Revelation. He can see them now. And look at how swiftly those Void Rays kill off the Locusts.
Rhett losing so many important units right now. He is going to take out the Nexus though from WhiteRa, so WhiteRa's economy is going to be super crippled. Man, I'm loving this game show. So much funny stuff is happening.
This is a really cool, dynamic back and forth game. Exactly what people have been seeing throughout the heart of the Swarm Ladder. And look at this. Oh my god, a single Oracle went down to the expansion and killed off 16 workers.
Oh yes. Finally we got Mutalisk as well.
Well, now WhiteRa's just going to continue the shove back. He just now rebuilding his natural expansion.
I mean, Rhett was up to 70 drones, but he lost so many. WhiteRa has killed a stunning amount of 66 drones this game.
I mean, it's completely unclear who's winning.
Well, WhiteRa's army is quite a bit... I don't know, yeah, actually he has less army supply.
God, what?
But he's rebuilding his natural nexus. He still has way more workers, but he only has 1 base to mine from for the moment.
Now keep in mind, Void Rays do a little bit different damage. You have to choose when to charge them up.
Oh, Corruption is used on the Void Ray right now. 1 Void Ray takes a lot of damage immediately.
And there it looks like instantly going into the charge up mode on the Void Rays, trying to pick off the Corruptors as fast as possible. He's even using the Stalkers to try to pick it off, but the Locusts just deal too much damage. There's only 3 Corruptors left, and there's only 2 Void Rays left, but look at how quickly those Void Rays pick off the Corruptors. See you later. And now it's all up to these Overseers to defend the Void Rays.
And there's only a single Queen on the map as well, so there's so there's really not a... meanwhile, the Oracle is still going to go. Got 24 kills right now. Are you kidding me?
The Oracle, the Protoss Ninja at this point, he is like a flying Dark Templar. Artosis is going to be crying when he ends up playing against that. WhiteRa now retaking an expansion. I mean, we're seeing how aggressively a Protoss player can retake expansions in Heart of the Swarm just due to the versatility of these small-scale units.
It's a really funny place that we're seeing out of WhiteRa right now. Something, of course, that we normally don't see. Oh, here goes that here. Oh, the Oracle lives. Smart.
A gift from Liquid Rhett.
Yes.
We're seeing the natural expansion still being attacked. Rhett sweeping up into the natural of WhiteRa and into the third base, hitting him in multiple locations. I mean, the Roach is just doing huge damage. That's never going to change.
I'm just worried about the economy of Rhett. He is so poor. He's earning 460 minerals a minute, and he's still producing Corruptors against Voiders. Right now, it's 5 against 5. That's a fight that the Zerg player is never going to win.
Yeah, I mean, especially with that new charge up. And oh, in the middle, oh, these poor Locusts, oh, or excuse me, poor Swarm hosts instantly get annihilated. And at the 23-minute mark, it is now 59 supply to 44.
Yes, and 34 workers against 24, Sean.
WhiteRa has elected to rebuild his cybernetics core, permitting him to do something other than produce zealots.
He still has quite a bit of money.
Oh, I'm starting to get real interested in this Oracle that's moving across the map, Roddy.
He's going in for the kill.
Gosh, look at how swiftly WhiteRa's retaking this expansion. And I mean, Void Rays really are skill rays in Heart of the Swarm. I'm not going to lie. That interesting. Oh, that's actually cool physics. Look at that.
Yeah. Looks really cool.
You know, in this brief moment, I want to note that, like, if you mouse over that Nexus in the UI and you click, it actually centers on the Nexus. Like, just click on the hatch that's building in the far top left. In the far top left, just click on it. Yeah, isn't that convenient?
Smart.
Wow, that's like really cute interface.
That's really next level. These Corruptors are like, Dark Templar, just go away, man.
Can corruption detect, Roddy?
I don't think it does. The Overseer can, though.
Well,
Nice positioning over here. This Dark Templar is killing a lot of links. Eventually will fall. More Void Rays on the way. This feels like we're casting Wings of Liberty beta, man, when everybody used to make Void Rays. That was awesome.
this feels like
I did that too.
This feels like we're casting the end of a very long and dramatic public free-for-all, where it's just a Protoss with some Void Rays, and the Zerg with a whole bunch of Overseers.
And then it's just not enough.
Gosh, I mean, it's, again, still a little bit unclear what the end result will be, but WhiteRa does have the lead at this point in time.
I definitely agree. There's so much more DPS in his Void Ray army than in the Corruptor army of Rhett. And Rhett also just doesn't have the money to really produce a lot of drones. Soon he will finally be able to mine properly from one base again, though. But WhiteRa had that edge for a little bit longer, and he has a lot of Void Rays. He still has the Dark Templars as well, which is annoying. I'm very surprised that Rhett never made any Spore Crawlers, like, throughout the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those funny things where you're so comfortable with a Protoss player in Wings of Liberty just being very hesitant. You build, you know, a Spore or two, and maybe he'll pick off some drones or queens with his Phoenixes, but for the most part, Protosses are using air as a transitionary period. They're basically saying, I'm going to build this air so that way I can get to Robo safely, or I can get the third base safely. But here we're seeing WhiteRa build the Stargate, so that way he can build a lot of Void Rays, and then continue building Void Rays.
Just throughout the entire game.
And then build an Oracle, and then return back to Void Ray production.
Rhett has a lot of love, it just doesn't really have a lot of money. But hey, we do see the return of the Infestor right now for the first time in this matchup.
All right, Rhett's winning.
Well, 10 Infestors is pretty damn good against Voiders. If WhiteRa is
This is
uncareful,
going to be quite a problem, yeah.
The biggest problem is that WhiteRa never made a robotics facility. I really want to point this out. So he obviously never had any observers either. And Void Rays, they love to clump up, man.
You notice that the 4 changeling zealots appeared, and WhiteRa's like, I'm not going to build zealots this game, and just kills them all off. Didn't even need to do any guesswork. And there we see, okay, well now we do see a zealot moving down from the bottom side. We'll be able to investigate the south end.
The longer WhiteRa waits, the worse this is going to get for him, as he really is not going to have any answer to Infested Terrans or Fungal. Okay, he's going to move out right now. That might be the right moment. These Archons are still damn scary, though, because Rhett doesn't really have anything on the ground. He has 3 links.
This is going to be very difficult for Rhett. He doesn't have the Neural Parasite. The supply count is somewhat even, but I mean, with this Prismatic charge up, the Prismatic alignment turning on, These Void Rays are going to do
Void Rays.
massive damage, and there they go into full blast charge up mode. Look at how quickly they're killing off all those Corruptors, but the fungal growths from Rhett are excellent. More infested Terrans plop down, but it looks like Rhett just can't deal with this Void Ray Archon Force. And good game, WhiteRa takes game number 1.
Wow. That was quite a game. That was quite the game.
Wow. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what it was like casting Protoss vs. Zerg 3 months ago. You'd start off and you'd put on a blindfold, and then you could cast till the 15-minute mark before you had to take them off, because everyone did the same damn thing every game. Oh, what's the Zerg doing? Oh, he's probably going to build a lot of Infestors while he goes for Broodlords. And what's the Protoss going to do? Nothing.
We're going to make some sentries.
He's going to build sentries. Occasionally he builds immortals and wins, and occasionally he doesn't, and sometimes he still wins.
I think Heart of the Swarm certainly in the
But
PvZ matchup is going to open up so many new possibilities. And I really think one of the things you could see, WhiteRa, despite going Dark Templars, if you would go Dark Templars in Wings of Liberty, there's always like, okay, you might deal some damage, but the follow-up counterattack from Zerg is most of the time going to be too much because it costs too much gas. Now he still went for a really quick third base, and he still got away with it because the Mothership Core, that cannon, that just helps out so much against any sort of pressure in that phase of the game. And Sean, I have to give it to you, the Archon.
Dude, the Archon are so good.